Only one album sold. Not 1,000, not even 100. Just one. Despite having two celebrity parents, a fan base before birth, and an entire entertainment company seemingly built just to debut her. Naina's first K-pop album didn't even crack double digits on most days. How does something like that even happen? Was the music really that bad? Was she sabotaged? Or is there something deeper going on, behind the glitter, behind the hate, and behind the name Naina? Before we get to the chaos of her debut, let's rewind, because this story starts long before her first stage. Naina, born Shen Jia Run in 2005, was never just a regular child. Her father, Shiao Shenyang, is a household name in China, a comedian, actor, and singer who rose to fame after his unforgettable skit in the 2009 CCTV New Year's Gala. His role? An exaggerated, flamboyant waiter that had the nation both laughing and arguing about masculinity in comedy. Her mother, Shen Chunyang, was a star in her own right, appearing in popular dramas like Yinga, Yolo, and The Way of the Bug. Together, they were China's beloved celebrity couple. So beloved, in fact, that Shiao Shenyang even changed his surname to hers when they got married. By the time Naina was born, the public had already staked a claim on her life. But fame, as it turns out, doesn't always come dressed in gold. In 2014, Naina appeared on the family reality show The First in Life alongside her parents. She was 6 years old, bright-eyed, shy, and excited to be on camera. But the response was brutal. Instead of warm reactions, the internet turned its gaze into a weapon. Strangers dissected her face with terrifying precision. Her eyelids, her teeth, her skin, her smile. She was 6, and yet she was labeled the ugliest celebrity child in China. Her father, usually so expressive and unapologetic on stage, admitted years later that putting her on the show was his biggest regret. The damage was done. From that point on, Naina disappeared from the public eye, tucked away, shielded by the same people who had once introduced her to the spotlight. But silence didn't mean surrender. Out of the camera's reach, Naina poured herself into the things she could control: dance, English, school. She learned Latin dance with intense dedication and became fluent in English by age 12. She joined school festivals, led group projects, and made teachers beam with pride. She wasn't chasing attention. She was chasing her own voice, and slowly, piece by piece, she was rebuilding what had been broken. At 13, she returned online, posting on Douyin. And to her surprise, this time, the comments weren't cruel. Instead of tearing her apart, strangers began complimenting her looks. They called it a glow-up. But Naina never forgot what those same people had once said. One comment stuck with her. Someone said she looked just like her dad. Her response? "I'm proud of that." And when she said it, Shiao Shenyang cried. Even though both her parents were actors, Naina didn't want to be one. What she wanted was music. That dream first took root at a middle school festival. She sang on stage, her friends screamed in the crowd, and something clicked. That was the moment. From then on, she trained herself in secret, learned to dance from YouTube, practiced vocals alone in her room, no teachers, no coaches. But her dream wasn't to sing in China, it was to become a K-pop idol. She looked up to Jennie from Blackpink, and after watching her solo debut, Naina made up her mind. She wasn't just going to dream, she was going to move to South Korea. In 2024, Naina left China to train in South Korea. She was only 19. Her parents supported her fully, and she adjusted fast. She trained hard, not because someone told her to, but because she wanted to. She described it as exhausting, but fun. And then, just before her official debut, her father stepped in, wanting to help her make a grand entrance. So he brought her on stage during his solo concert at the Shenyang Olympic Sports Center. Tens of thousands in the audience. Naina appeared in silver pants, a glittering pink jacket, colorful braids, and light makeup. She performed 2 unreleased songs, but something felt off. Nobody in the audience had been told this was a debut moment. They expected a surprise guest, not a self-promotional performance by his daughter. Some fans were confused, others were angry. Her outfit? Nearly identical to one previously worn by aespa's Karina, fueling rumors that her dad had hired K-pop stylists to copy the look. Worse? The audio cut out mid-performance, the screens glitched. People called it awkward, cringe, tone-deaf. But not everyone was so harsh. One commenter wrote, "Her mic was on. That alone puts her above many rookies." Another said she resembled a young Gong Hyojin. Still, the debut hadn't even happened, and already the backlash had begun. On June 19th, 2025, Nena officially debuted under a brand new company, B&B Music. It had only one artist, her. Rumors spread that her parents had funded the label specifically to launch her career, and considering the lack of other signees, it seemed likely. Her first mini-album, Never Afraid, was produced by YG Entertainment's Roven, the same guy who'd worked with legends like Lee Hi, AKMU, and Treasure. It had 4 tracks. Her lead single, Freeze, was followed by songs like Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, One Spot, and Jade in the Dark. Themes of anxiety, hope, and chasing dreams ran through the album. She said she struggled with Korean pronunciation while recording, wanting everything to sound natural. It was personal, it was polished. And then it flopped, hard. In her first week, she sold just 65 copies. Some days, 0 albums sold, others, just 1 or 2. The best day? 33. It wasn't a debut, it was a disaster. The internet exploded, memes circulated, people joked about buying the album just to help her out. Some called it the most honest K-pop debut in history. She didn't fake the numbers, one user said. She didn't use her dad's name to boost sales. But the real issue, others argued, wasn't the music. It was the strategy. She should have started with a digital single, built hype, built a fan base. Instead, she dropped a full mini-album into silence. One tweet summed it up. If no one knows who you are, they're not buying 4 songs. But all that negativity? It did something weird. It made people curious. They wanted to hear the flop. They wanted to see if it was really that bad. And suddenly, Nena's name was back in the charts. When news of her debut hit Chinese media, Nena shot to the top of Weibo's trending topics. She wasn't expecting it. One day, she was invisible. The next, she was everywhere. On Instagram, her follower count started ticking up, nearing 10,000. She's been performing on Korean music shows. She's even mentioned plans for a second album, this time R&B focused. She hopes to grow her presence in China, too. Still, critics haven't gone away. They call her unattractive. They say she's a classic Nepo baby. They accuse her of copying other idols. But the truth? Nena is still standing. She's still singing. And she's not apologizing for where she came from. Nena didn't ask to be born into fame. She didn't ask to be dissected by strangers at 6 years old. She didn't fake her numbers. She didn't buy her way to the top. She dreamed. And even when everything went wrong, she kept going. Her debut might have flopped. But this might just be the beginning.